Corruption by P.K. Armstrong. Chapter 20. Christopher had spent the weekend working, following up on leads and tracing Simon Rain's movements for the past month. It seemed that Simon Rain's life was pretty consistent. He mainly went from home to office. He had lots of meetings, took his mother out to lunch, and did some site visits for properties he was interested in. All in all, it would have been really easy for someone to spend the last month slipping something into his coffee or food. He ran more backgrounds on Simon's staff and business associates. Last week, after leaving the Dales, Christopher Roland was still on edge, but it was the good kind, the edge that kept him on his game. He laughed when he thought about his attempt to get Angel and her family to back away from the case before he left that morning. It's good to pool information, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions, Jerry Dale said. Angel agreed. I'd like to see what kind of background information I can find on Stan Granger, she said, and Francine Dale nodded her approval. I still have a call or two I can make as well, Jerry admitted. Christopher had started to stand, but at these statements he slowly sat back down again. I know you all want to help, but I feel like I should remind you that this is an open police investigation. Angel stared at Roland. The death of Simon Rain, definitely. His possible involvement in corruption, absolutely. But Stan Granger is also on that list, and we have valid reason to believe that he is Violet's father, Angel stated plainly. At that point, she had gotten up from her chair and went to stand behind him, leaning over and wrapping both arms around his neck, her cheek resting on his head. Christopher, I know you have a job to do. We both do. I'll stay away from Stan Granger for now. But understand this, if I need to go after him, I will. I won't tell you about it, and I won't drag you into it because you are a sworn officer with a duty and a reputation to protect. Christopher sighed heavily. And think about this, she continued. We all know you aren't a dirty cop, but once that list becomes public knowledge, everyone will wonder. I will not have you lose your good name over this. If I can help, I will, whether you like it or not. Christopher had stood and tried to stare Angel down, but then he looked at Francine and Jerry and realized they felt exactly the same. He sighed. There was definitely going to be some damage control needed. He hesitated to admit it, but Christopher liked having the support. He had never felt like he had a lot of people in his corner. He was always a bit of a lone wolf, even at work. But having the Dales express their explicit trust in him made him feel even more confident that they would get to the bottom of this mess. They had to, for Angel's sake as well as Violet. He made his way home, ran up the stairs to shower and change, and grabbed a protein bar and a bottle of water. He was back in the car again when his phone rang.